Are you open?
We're closed.
We've got some visitors here. We've been on a tour to the National Cemetery, and on our way back to Fairview, we're a little thirsty. If we could just get something to drink for a bit.
You all want to grab something, feel free. I guess I can talk to you all for a minute. For those of you that can't read the sign out front, I'm William Deming. I know some of you are. I know you, sir, used to come into my shop over on McLean and Ekin. Yeah, Bob, right? Yes, sir. Yeah, I thought so. Yeah. Yeah, no, Bob and I go way back, yeah. Good times. This kid used to steal from me. It's okay, you know. Good friendship. You know, he works for the school system. You know, he helped set up that new school, that elementary school right next to the National Cemetery you all came from. I remember when they built that. That was about 3 years ago. Yeah, about 1911, I think, is when it opened. And anyhow, if you leave out the front gates of the National Cemetery and turn left, go all the way down. Well, not all the way down. Go past the elementary school, cross Silver Street, about 3 doors down, 106 Ekin Avenue. That's where my second shop was in Silver Grove. Can't miss it. It's this house from the 1880s, I'd say, and I don't remember the year it was built, but there's my storefront there. It's got glass windows all around it. And, you know, that was my second grocery in the Grove, and those are some good times. You know, looking back on that, before I moved here into New Orleans, I lived in Silver Grove for about as long as I can think. Dad moved us up. There were 10 of us. We had lost an older brother before I came along that had passed away. But no. So that was 11. But anyhow, Dad, everybody called him Theo because I've got a younger brother named Theodore. He came to New Albany and convinced Mom that we need to move here because there's the river, and with his shoe company, you know, he could start one here, and he was a cobbler by trade, as was his brother, and, you know, I learned the trade, as did Theodore and George, and my grandfather was a cobbler. It's a family business to be a shoemaker, really. And Dad brought us here, started McClung and Deming. It's down on the river, and George took over Dad's position after he died in '77. Dad passed on. He went to a better place. Mom followed about 7 years later. Those were both good times and hard times for us. Theodore and I, we decided, that's my brother again, we decided that we could launch our own company, not here in New Albany, but we'd start our own shoe factory. And we went up to Lexington, Indiana. Now, have you all ever been to Lexington, Indiana?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
If you haven't been, it's really not that hard to find. You go through Charlestown and then through New Washington. Get about 7 or 8 miles south of Hanover, Indiana. Hang left, and you'll ride past the cornfield, and then another cornfield. I think there's a cornfield there. There used to be a hog farm about 30 years ago. And then past that hog farm, there's a couple more cornfields, and when you get to absolutely nothing, that's how you know you're in Lexington, Indiana. We were the biggest thing in Lexington, Indiana, well, since Lexington, Indiana was founded. You know, we had our shoe factory there for about 7 years, and we had it provided for us through those times after Dad passed away. We helped us take care of Mom into her passing. And, you know, in '80, I met my wife, Martha, and we got married, and we had our first child, Cleo. And she was a good girl. Always happy. She was born a month after George lost his daughter. She was only 4 months old at the time. That was heavy on George. It took great strength for him to power through. Publicly, he held his own, but those who were close to him knew it always bothered him. George did well. He had a grudge against me, though. After after his daughter died, and mine, Cleo, she was born and she grew up. George told me that I was fortunate and didn't understand why my child got to live and his didn't. He told me I'd never know what it's like. He was wrong on that. He was wrong. Mom died in '84. Cleo was just 2, and after Mom died, the factory burned down in Lexington. We lost a man in that fire. Tried to salvage some equipment from there and came back to Silver Grove one evening and met Martha at the door, and she lets me know that George attempted to take his life at work that day at the factory, just in his office, tried to kill himself. He didn't succeed, fortunately, but I think Mom's passing really took a toll on him emotionally. I thought he was stronger than that. He didn't pass till about a decade ago. 2 months before Irma's wedding. But then Cleo passed 2 years after Mom died. Told Martha that we needed to take our daughter Irma and our son John, and we needed to leave New Albany for a while. So we loaded up the family and got on a train and headed west towards Wichita and settled in Wichita and started a shoe company there and ultimately failed. Came back to New Albany, went back to Silver Grove. That's the only place I've really known. And started going to the Advent Church there. If you go up Indiana Avenue, and it's on your left, it's a white clapboard church, beautiful Gothic arched windows in the front. And we lived just a few doors down on Shelby, and I convinced Theodore Parley to go back into business with me, and we'd start a dry goods and grocery store on McLean. He'd live in his house. We built an add-on just like on Ekin to the front. And we ran our store there, and one Sunday, this is probably a couple years before McKinley was shot. Yeah. We were doing well enough. I decided we didn't need wood stove anymore in our house, and I convinced Martha to run a gas stove, and put a gas stove in, and went to church one Sunday right down the street. Came home, and believe it or not, the whole damn kitchen had blown off just from the stove. So that was that. We rebuilt and went forward. And you all remember when that preacher killed his wife? I shouldn't say that. He was acquitted. He was acquitted in the end. But it was Reverend Sutherland's wife, Jennifer. He came home one day, and there she was hanging at the door. That made national headlines. I mean, all the way from New York to Texas, all the way out to California until the earthquake happened, and then he just kind of disappeared. And here he's in Indianapolis now. I'm not too certain about that. Him kind of ruined Irma's wedding. We're just 2 blocks up from where they found her, and the day before, Irma had her wedding to Robert. And Robert is a great guy. He had lost his wife and child about a year and a half too before he married Irma. And we had a beautiful Rasmussen florist came in, decorated the whole house, provided her with a white rose bouquet to carry. I walked her down, handed her over to Robert. She had an Irish lace dress. It was silk. And they had a string quartet. Had a new kitchen. And next morning, there are days you don't forget. October 13th, 1904. I won't forget that day. Walked out to my front stoop, and instead of seeing the review and the highlights of the wedding of the year, minister's wife commits suicide. Well, there went that. So that ruined the day. Say what you want about those Catholics and those fish eaters over at St. Mary's and St. Edward's Hospital. They take care of you in the long run. I feel bad. The Adventists were good to me. After we lost our kitchen, they provided us with food until we got everything settled again. And I was a secretary on the board of trustees, and then we went to Trinity Methodist. And then I got sick, I'd say about 8 years ago. They told me I was exhausted, just needed to take a break. So, I had some business prospects down in Florida. I was just thinking about that before you, sir, interrupted me, but it's okay. I forgive you. And I'm just thinking all that over. Those prospects didn't go through. Came back to New Albany. Ekin store closed up. So I figured I would just start again here on Elm Street. See how that goes. There's some business I need to take care of tonight. Just thinking about it and talking it through out loud, it confirmed with me that I need to finish it off. Just complete what I was going to do. If you all need anything, John and Martha will be back soon. They're in Chicago now. Martha wanted to do some shopping. John took her there. She's delighted to go. She told me that several times. She's looking forward. She's on an excursion boat. At least she's going to go on an excursion boat on the Great Lakes, on Lake Michigan. And it's different than just the boats you ride out on the Ohio. One of the big steamers. And she's looking forward to that. I don't know if she'll be full of joy. But if you all need anything, I need to head out. Finish what I was going to take care of. Let yourselves out. But if you need anything, sir, nice knowing you all these years. John will help you out. You all have a good night. Thank you.
Mr. Deming?
Yes.
Are you all right?
I'm fine. After tonight, everything will be a lot better.
All right.
Thank you, though. I appreciate it.
Pleasure. Mr. Deming. That's a bottle of carbolic acid. You won't live to see the morning. But let me bring you back. Jacob Domaleski. Please.
He's
I think you know a little bit about that neighborhood. Past like did you turn the other direction? Where do you end up?
Hanover College.
And how long are you going to be here now?
9 more months.
Almost ready to graduate. A graduate of our program, the best tour guide you will ever have for this cemetery. You'll spend more time walking around with him than you have with us. He knows it all, and just as well as this one. Now, and just in case, if we have those who are likely offended, Jacob's one of those good macro snappers at St. Mary's too.
Yeah, I can make fun of I see my crowd there. I can make fun of us.
Jacob, thank you. One more tour, you'll be dry.
Yeah, and more.
Great.